Jacobs here, 7-time national, 6-time world champion, but a lot of the runabout riders ran 1,100 feet apart and just pumped it up full of water.
And we have some unbelievable athletes to take advantage of this newfound water.
Well, 20 of the best personal watercraft racers have been invited to compete this afternoon. Chris McCluggage, Minoru Kanamori lead a runabout field is stellar.
And wakeboarding, first time ever at Jet Jam. We have some of the best wakeboarders in the world, including Darren Shapiro, Pro Tour champion, and Sean Murray, Expression Session world champion. The grassroots of the sport is also here, the ski division.
Ski division is where the whole sport got its start, and Jammin' Jeff Jacobs here, 7-time national, 6-time world champion, but a lot of the runabout riders have brought out skis also, so it's going to be real interesting. Minoru Kanamori, the Flying Fish, Chris Fischetti, they're all going to be competing.
And a fantastic little race course for the riders today.
Couple little interesting tricks in this course. First of all, the West Coast equalizer buoy down that lower right-hand corner. The second thing is the Plymouth Rock ramp jump that's going to be incorporated on the course. It's going to be an option section of the course, and it's actually going to shorten the course just a little. So a lot of riders are going to be looking forward to using that ramp, and it could tighten things up. Outside option still available if the riders choose to ride the buoys.
In the stand-ups and in the sit-downs, riders have the option of going around all the buoys or going over the jump. Right now, let's get it going with the Pro Ski Shootout.
And they're off. Jacobs gets a big hole shot. McCluggage and Flores rail going to the first turn, leaning hard on each other. And finally break it off and make that first turn. McCluggage with the advantage. And Victor Sheldon has a real hard time at the first turn. He goes down and he's back on his feet.
And here's Jammin' Jeff Jacobs out of El Cajon, California on that Reba-prepped Yamaha Superjet.
Jacobs working his way around the first turn, looking back second place. Minoru Kanamori third place, the Flying Fish, Chris Fischetti. Kanamori, a former Japanese national champion. Fish, a many-time American champion. That they head right toward us down that front straightaway, and we get a good look at the Jammer.
These racers are attaining speeds of up to 60 miles per hour in the straightaway.
Jammer working his way around the course, heading down through the option section of the course.
2 weeks ago, Jeff Jacobs claimed his 7th national title. He's also the 6-time world champion. 26-year-old Jeff Jacobs has simply been dominating the sport.
Jacobs, a master technician at working the buoys and the rough water as it churns up here on the Arrowhead Pond. Heads down that front straightaway.
You know, some of these riders have a lot of experience with one of the most important parts of the course, the Plymouth Rock ramp jump. Right there is Minoru Kanamori on that number 20 Kawasaki jet ski in 1989. He won the ramp jump at the World Finals.
Third place right behind the Flying Fish, Chris Fischetti. Fischetti, a many-time national champ and world champion, lines up for the ramp jump. Has Kanamori in his sights right now. He's trying to set him up for the pass. Kanamori took the outside line. Fischetti to the inside. Fischetti completes the pass as he drops in right in front of Minoru Kanamori, takes second place.
Oh, I like the aggressive behavior of Fischetti going for the ramp jump and making it work for him.
Chris Fischetti, a master of the ramp jump, has used it in the past to gain some valuable knowledge about it. And earlier, Chris Fischetti explained to me just what you have to do.
When you're charging the ramp, it looks like just a big steep wall. You tend to want to weight the boat to the rear a little bit, be real smooth, real flat, real consistent with the trigger, and hopefully you get a real smooth patch of water right as you accelerate at the ramp, because the more acceleration you have at the ramp, hopefully the lighter the front of the boat is. So if you hit some bumps or some turmoil or some things like that, it tends to veer the boat or point the nose down a little bit, and you might hit the ramp at the wrong angle, and that's usually the problem.
And right there you can see a real good explanation of the knowledge Chris Fischetti's earned in the past on how to use that ramp jump to your advantage.
It's a beautiful Southern California day here at the Arrowhead Pond in Anaheim. One of the largest crowds ever to see a jet sports competition is on hand here at Jet Jam 97. In first place right now is Jeff Jacobs, second place Fischetti, and in third place, Minoru Kanamori. Stay with us. Jet Jam 97 is brought to you by Kawasaki Jet Ski Watercraft. Call 1-800-661-RIDE for the dealer nearest you. And by Gillette Sensor XL and the Gillette Series. Gillette, the best a man can get. And by Kellogg's, the best to you. From your friends at Kellogg's.
The new Kawasaki 1100 STX watercraft has more pulling power than any jet ski watercraft ever built. Good news for that big guy out there on the end of the rope.
World-class performance doesn't come easy. That's why at Scat Track we take pride in manufacturing the world's finest impellers available for personal watercraft. Scat Track impellers and pumps are designed and manufactured in the USA, using state-of-the-art equipment and testing methods. The result? We've propelled more champions to the winner's circle than all other impeller manufacturers combined. To get the ultimate in performance for racing or recreation, get the winning edge. Scat Track. Call our toll-free number for a free product catalog and a dealer near you.
The new Kawasaki 1100 STX watercraft has the biggest, easiest to read digital display on the water. So you can spend less time searching out numbers and more time sightseeing.
Welcome back to Jet Jam 97, an awesome oasis of sight and sound. Broski Shootout is a little over halfway done. This is an interesting format here. It's 10 minutes of racing, and then after 10 minutes, the white flag goes up, and there's one more lap to go.
Jacobs around the buoy and heads down the front straightaway. Now there's the West Coast Equalizer buoy down at the end of that course. Canamore and Fischetti have already used it. Jacobs and Flores have yet to use it. It looks like Jacobs has decided now's the time for him to pick up that Equalizer buoy. He does. Back on the course and stays in the number one spot.
Jeff Jacobs is in first place, followed by Flores in second, Fischetti in third, Canamore in fourth, and Chris McCluggage in fifth place right now in the Pro Ski Challenge.
And we take a look at McCluggage running in fifth place. Two-time national champion in the ski division, switched over a few years ago to runabouts, hasn't spent much time on the skis. This boat, they just took one of his runabout motors, dropped it in his hull, not really time to set up for it. Chris is just not on his game plan today, having a little bit of problem all over the race course, a little bit on this ski boat.
The racers are having a great time here. A lot of them haven't had that much experience or haven't used their stand-ups that much, but they're really going for it here. Look at this, two riders, back-to-back, neck and neck. That's Bonacci and Wild Bill Pointer going over the ramp together.
And Pointer picks up the position over the bomber, Tom Bonacci.
The water's getting a little bit rough here from all the activity.
The pond is only 5 feet deep. We take a look at second place, Rob Flores, about the Team Kawasaki, as he works his way up, and he's trying to challenge the jammer, Jeff Jacobs, for the number one spot. And down goes Flores!
And has a big opportunity for Chris Fischetti to gain on Flores. Now remember, Flores has yet to go around the West Coast Equalizer buoy.
Fischetti comes off the ramp jump one more time, closing in. Flores on the outside loop, trying to hold on to his spot. Fischetti coming right in, side by side. Oh, rubbing rails, and Flores holds on to the second spot as Fish goes down.
Oh, Flores had that inside spot, and Fish could not get around him. Fish has got to be looking for that second place position right now.
Fish all over Flores as they head down the front straightaway, running right in his backwater. Now they get a lap rider in between them. But Flores working his way around and heading up for the split section of the course one more time.
I'd like to see both these guys go over the ramp right now. They're really battling it out hard for that second place spot.
This time Rob Flores takes the inside track in the ramp jump. Fischetti goes to the outside. Fischetti looks like he's got a slight advantage as they head for the merge.
Oh, they're coming in tight. Fischetti! Can he get him? Yeah, he pulls right around Flores, and the crowd is loving it.
Flores bobbled slightly coming around that one yellow buoy, and Fischetti used it to perfection. Around him he goes. Chris Fischetti takes over second place.
Right now, the white flag is up. That means 10 minutes have gone by, and there's only one lap left here at Jet Jam 97's Pro Ski Shootout.
And the jammer, Jeff Jacobs, for the last time is heading down the backside of the course, lines up. The Plymouth Rock ramp jump, off he goes, and this one looks like it belongs to the jammer.
Looks like Jammin' Jeff Jacobs is going to take a victory here at Jet Jam 97. He has been dominating the stand-up class for his entire career. 7-time national champion coming away here with an easy victory.
The The Jammer across the finish line takes the #1 spot. A little reluctant to come to Jet Jam this year because of the grueling tour schedule, but I'm sure he's glad that he did. Chris Fischetti takes the 2nd spot. Rob Flores picks up 3rd.
Fischetti is the 1991 world champ in the stand-up division. Look at him right there. He's a consummate showman as he pulled his boat up onto the rocks for the crowd. And Rob Flores finished in 3rd place. We'll be back in a moment to talk to our winner. With Chuck Kuntz, and boy, we just witnessed an awesome race in the Pro Ski Shootout here at Jet Jam 97. Jeff Jacobs with an awesome hole shot took the race wire to wire. Jeff Jacobs ends up in 1st place, followed by Fischetti in 2nd place, Flores in 3rd, McCluggage in 4th, and Kanamori in 5th. Right now, let's go down to Chuck Kuntz with our winner.
Winner of the Ski Shootout, Jeff Jacobs. Jammer, man, what a job you did.
Well, thank you. It was exciting for me to get a victory today. I just have to thank my sponsors, Riva Yamaha, for getting that incredible hole shot. And it's a lot easier when you're out front. If there's any guy I want in 2nd place, it's Fish. And he was there, and I knew he wasn't gonna let anybody by him, so I could pace him, and it was fun. I enjoyed myself.
Congratulations to the Jammer. And Tony, Jeff's not the only one enjoying himself around here.
Oh, the crowd getting wet here at the Arrowhead Pond, courtesy of some of our freestyle competitors. Right now, let's take a step back from the racing action and check out some of our freestyle competitors.
The freestyle scoring is very simple. The scores are 1 to 10 on the Olympic scoring system. The judges are looking for difficulty, variety, and the execution of their tricks.
World champion Rick Roy was the first to take to the water. Roy wasted no time throwing out his trademark barrel roll. He also busted out with his bucking Bronco.
Rick ran that road last year in Dallas, Texas, over the Cowboys. Look at Bronco.
But the surprise of the day came with less than 15 seconds left in Roy's run. Right there, he takes his engine cover off and throws it away. What does that mean? That means if Roy does not make his barrel roll, his boat would sink to the bottom. Roy pulls it out.
Ken Wood started off an aggressive routine by pulling a Superman. Unfortunately for Wood, his attempt at a super off the ramp jump didn't happen the way he would like.
Hailing from Satellite Beach, Florida, Lloyd Berlew is known on tour as Showtime. He certainly gave the crowd something to cheer about. And Berlew would pass Ken Wood to take over 2nd place for the time being.
Sideways, look at that control. That boat's not upright. He's right on the side of that thing. Lloyd Berlew with a tiny boat. 180. We had a lot of magazine ads doing that power move. Right in. There you go.
Local favorite Bobby Biggs had a few tricks up his sleeve. Biggs' smooth style and flair for the original were enough to get the crowd pumped.
Oh yeah, the way you go, oh yeah.
And to end his routine, Bobby pulled out the Undertaker.
Now Eric Malone had the last shot at 1st place.
Well, Jet Jam's a great spot. This is the 2nd year for it. The crowd is fantastic. They're behind you 100%. The people are so loud, and it psychs you. It makes you pumped. And the water's smooth at all times. It's a small body of water. My sponsors back me 100%. Yamaha, Solus, Covercraft, New Pig Corporation, and my no-handed barrel roll was a great aspect to look at as far as how I won this weekend.
Congratulations to all the freestyle competitors in this year's Jet Jam competition. Malone taking home the win. Still ahead, we have hot pro runabout racing action and ramp jumping. But up next is world-class wakeboarding action. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody, to the Arrowhead Pond and River Complex for Jet Jam 97, presented by Splash Magazine. Jet Jam is much more than a huge pool party with personal watercraft racing. The 42-acre site adjacent to the Arrowhead Pond Stadium was host to an expo for personal watercraft manufacturers and over 160 booths for general products and demonstration. Car enthusiasts from all over California were on hand to participate and enjoy in the hot car and truck show. And for those into top quality car sound systems, there was a car and audio sound-off competition. The fun zone included games and rides for the whole family to enjoy, and right next door was the Slam Jam Beach Volleyball competition. If that was not enough, there were water stunt shows held throughout the day. And on the main stage, there were over 10 concerts, including Willie Nelson, Safaris, Dogstar featuring Keanu Reeves, Mike Love and Bruce Johnston of the Beach Boys, and my favorite, the Reverend Horton Heat. Racing, music, and fun. Jet Jam 97, truly the ultimate California pool bash. We're getting ready for wakeboarding action for the first time ever at Jet Jam.
Last year, a demonstration sport. The crowd loved it so much, they brought it back as a full-blown competition.
And we have the top athletes, Darren Shapiro, Sean Murray, and X Games champion Parks Bonifay. Look for some huge aerial maneuvers off that wake.
Of the world's 10 best wakeboarders, Jet Pilot-sponsored Sean Murray leads the way. The top 5 have gone to the finals.
This is Jason Cooley's final run. Let's see how he performed. Slob helicopter for Jason Cooley early on in his run, and then a nice big roll to revert also for Jason Cooley. You know, Jason is one of the only riders from Arizona coming from Phoenix. A short jaunt to the Arrowhead Pond. Jason went down, though, on his front flip and ended up with a score of 1460. Next up, we had Scott Hussey. Scott's claim to fame is that he trains Parks Bonifay and Shane Bonifay. Living in Lake Alfred, Florida, which is a very small town, some people refer to it as L.A. Nice air roll to revert right there for Scott Hussey. Scott getting inverted for a solid, going for that big old front flip. Oh! But Scott went down hard and finished with a score of 1475. Right now, Parks Bonifay getting set for his run here at Jet Jam. Parks won the X Games in 1996 at the ripe old age of 14.
Here goes Parks Bonifay.
Parks starting off behind that Yamaha. Stretches it out there. Oh, my. Parks goes down early. That's going to hurt him significantly.
With only 3 minutes in the expression session, that's going to open the door for Sean and Darren.
Parks does not get the proper extension, and he cannot complete the rotation of the board, and he goes down, and he goes down hard. Now the boat has to circle back around, and he's still on the clock. You'll notice Parks gets right up and is getting ready to do his next maneuver. Goes outside the wake right there. He's looking for more speed out of that Yamaha. Nice invert right there for Parks Bonifay. Look at that, the S-bend, a trick invented by Shannon Best. It's an air railing with a complete 360 while the board's in the air. And there was an air S-bend, an S-bend without even using the wake.
One of the most difficult tricks you can do by not using the wake.
There he goes right there on the whirly bird. Again, board over his head, doing a 360-degree turn. And right there, Parks on a scarecrow, a front side, front roll to revert. You know, Jet Jam 97 is a real fun event for these riders. The national tour is already over, and it's really an opportunity to pull out something big.
No, I'm just going to go out there, ride, have fun, and try to go big.
$10,000 in prize money today.
The boat making a double up, utilizing that wake. Oh, one-handed board going end over end. Nice front flip right there for Parks Bonifay, and then right into a Rayleigh.
Time running out for Parks Bonifay. He's recovered nicely from that very first fall.
And right now, oh my, Parks goes down and goes down hard. Comes completely out of his bindings on that landing. Now he has to swim back to his board, put it back on, and it's all time. Only 3 minutes here in expression session format. Just did not get the extension that he needed. Normally, Parks can get 10, 15 feet of air on that, but not today. He needs big air, big extension, doesn't get it, lands hard, and goes totally forward out of the bindings. Yamaha turning around, picking Parks Bonifay up. Only a few seconds left. Right there, a roll to revert.
Parks, the sensation of the 96 Tour, Tony, I understand, is in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Parks Bonifay started skiing when he was only 6 months old. That's why he's such a seasoned competitor, only at 15 years of age. He's only got about 10 or 15 seconds left. The boat turning around, creating a convergence, and Parks does a nice toe side roll off that double up when the wakes converge. And as time runs out, Parks goes for the Mobius. A complete flip with the handle pass with the board doing a 360-degree turn. Parks goes down at the end of his run.
With the big air on the toe side roll, Parks is able to pick up a score of 15.78 and put himself into first place.
But still to come.
If you think your disposable razor shaves as comfortably as Gillette Sensor XL, try Sensor XL. We bet you don't go back to disposables. Because only Sensor XL has microfins for extra comfort.
Wow.
Take the Sensor XL challenge.
Sensor XL back.
Bet you don't go back.
Here's Tony the Tiger for Kellogg's Frosted Flakes cereal.
She does it forwards, backwards, and on one foot. She's 12-year-old Charity Merriman, champion barefoot skier.
Look, Mom, no hands.
On the water, in the air, with a bowl, and right out of the box.
Spoons are like skis. Who needs them?
Charities earned her stripes, so how about you?
It takes hard work and good eating, like a complete breakfast that starts with the sweet crunch of Frosted Flakes.
They are great.
You can join the team and bring out the tiger
in you.
The new Kawasaki 1100 STX watercraft even comes with its own retractable reboarding step. An industry first. Guess that gives us a definite leg up on the competition.
Tonight, the big hurt.
This time of year, he's thinking one thing, a division title. But first, the Sox have some work to do. White Sox Rangers, the Sunday night baseball game of the week. Tonight at 8 on ESPN.
Welcome back, everybody, to Jet Jam 97, presented by Splash Magazine, here at the Arrowhead Pond in Anaheim, California.
You know, Darren Shapiro went big in the preliminary rounds and seated himself second place going into the final. He's one of the top competitors from the tour.
Darren is super, super consistent, and it showed in the preliminary round. He's always having a good time out there, and he can go behind any kind of boat. Right now, he's asking for a little bit more speed out of that Yamaha, and he's got it. More speed. Watch here for Darren's first trick. Huge carve into the wake. Giant extension, and Darren got huge air right there. Just landing way, way out in the flats. Darren, one of the strongest competitors going around that West Coast buoy.
One of the largest crowds ever witnessed wakeboarding competition right here at Jet Jam 97, and these wakeboarders are loving it.
One thing that's interesting, though, is the confines are kind of small. It's a small course. I mean, it's normally a riverbed, but the riders are adapting really, really well. Darren getting set right here to charge back into the wake, and he does. A huge S-bend for Darren, and then right into an air roll to revert. Now Darren Shapiro carving it off that wake, having fun out there. He does a Rayleigh, which now is called the air square. That's the trick that he invented. And then as the boat's turning around, he throws a Bel Air, a trick invented by his competitor, Sean Murray. And look at that grab. Darren going huge and grabbing the board in what's called the stale fish grab. The judges are gonna like that. He's getting a lot of style points here. Huge extension right there on that front side, front roll to revert, followed right by air roll to revert. The important thing in this competition is putting a lot of tricks in succession, and Darren is certainly doing that here today. Every time he does a trick using the wake, he comes back with the air trick, which is a trick not using the wake.
Just take a look at the nice body extension, keeps the rope nice and tight, and does a complete rotation around the rope.
Darren Shapiro is a consummate competitor, and he uses a special technique behind this Yamaha because he wants to win and he knows how to do it.
In a way, you just got to change the technique up a little bit. I'm going to try to do quite a few air tricks and other technical stuff.
Few seconds left here in Darren's run. Nice 360 for Darren Shapiro using a reverse rotation. That's called blindside. And Darren Shapiro putting a lot of style into his run. Now the judges are looking for execution, intensity, and composition. So they want a variety of tricks. They want you to go big, and they want you to have good execution, which means clean landings and big air. And Darren Shapiro's doing all that today. He's wanting the boat to go straight. He knows he only has a little bit of time left, and he wants to take maximum advantage of it right here. He wants the boat to go straight because he's setting up for a big trick. Oh, Darren can't quite hit it exactly how he wanted to, but still, overall, excellent, excellent pass. On the water right now, we have the kings of the course, the runabouts.
And you're going to enjoy this racing action. You've got two-time former world champion Minoru Kanemaru. You've got former national champion Chris McCluggage, former national world champion, defending champion at Jet Jam, the Flying Fish, Chris Fischetti. The action is going to be intense.
The races have went through a lot of qualifying rounds, and it's all coming down to this right now. The finals of the Pro Runabout here at Jet Jam.
And Dustin Farthing got a big jump off the line, and the red flags are coming out. And we're going to send this one back to the starting line. The officials have made a call, and Dustin Farthing has been ruled that he jumped the start. And that means he has to go back to the starting line. His boat will have the engine turned off. And we take a look right here again. Farthing off the line very, very quickly, but they ruled it was a jump start or a line barge. He's going to have to go back to the starting line and start dead engine.
It's a huge problem for Dustin Farthing. The start is so important. Dustin Farthing is in good position here to possibly get the overall title here at Jet Jam. And now everybody else is off the line, and there's Dustin way at the back, and now he finally starts. Can he overcome this difficult start?
Karine Patorel, the lady from France, grabs the #1 spot. Fischetti trying to pick up second. He's in a battle with Klippenstein and McCluggage, and Bonacci off the backside of the race course breaks.
Oh my, Bonacci's out of the competition, and there's no way he could possibly win the overall now.
That opens the door for all kinds of possibilities with Farthing starting in the back of the pack. But the lady in front from Beaucaire, France on the Fischetti rocket ship racing Sea-Doo is Karine Patorel, the #1 spot.
Let's take a look again at the start. Karine Patorel, coming from the pole position, takes full advantage of it and just stretches her lead out early. And check out Fischetti, going for the 1 foot.
Chris Fischetti trying to show a little aerodynamic styling with that rudder hanging up inverted. Just a little styling and profiling for the crowd from the Flying Fish.
But how about Karine Patorel? From France originally, now living in Lake Havasu City. She's a two-time Pro-Am Women's Runabout World Champion, but she's here with the men at Jet Jam, and she's in the lead.
Not only in the lead, but off the ramp. And McCluggage right behind her in hot pursuit. And as long as she takes that inside line off the ramp, she's taking the shortest route on the course. McCluggage can't get the pass. He's just going to have to figure out a way to set her up.
But Chris is in hot pursuit of the woman from France. But right now, McCluggage making an interesting move, going around the West Coast equalizer buoy early, and he does not lose a position. Very smart move for Chris McCluggage.
The equalizer buoy was an innovation by Phil Johnson, used from the Hot Water Tour in the early 90s.
Karine Patorel in the lead, followed by McCluggage and Fischetti. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Jet Jam 97, presented by Splash Magazine. Earlier this weekend, former runabout champion Victor Sheldon took us for a lap around the track on his Kawasaki ZXi. Sit back and enjoy the view.
Kareem Patarel continuing to show the way on the race course on the boat number 300, the Rocket Ship Racing Sea-Doo. Second place still. McCluggage right behind her. He's not letting go. He's right there, but he can't figure out, Tony, what to do to get around this lady.
Well, I think it's a little bit deceiving because McCluggage has gone around the West Coast equalizer buoy and Patrell has not. So he's just sitting back and stalking Kareem Patrell.
Taking a look back at fifth place, that's boat number 2, the Kawasaki Team Kawasaki of Minoru Kanamori out of Kobe, Japan. And Tony, he's got some company.
Oh, it's Dustin Farthing taking him around that buoy. Dustin moving all the way up to fifth place.
Minoru Kanamori last year a little disappointment, lost the national championship at Jet Jam. Had a little reminiscent about the fun he's having here.
Last year I had a big disappointment in this place, but this year everything totally different. So I will having fun also. I will do a stand-up race too. So kind of fun.
Kanamori is one of the nicest, most easygoing guys around, but you put him on the racetrack and he's an animal.
An absolute tiger right there. He proved that he used the outside split that time to set up Farthing and pass him back. So now Farthing back to 6th place and out of the picture again. Kanamori just fixing in the mix.
Right now, look at our leaders. Kareem Patrell over the ramp, followed closely by Chris McCluggage.
Kareem Patrell, a multi-time European champion, cut her teeth racing in her native France, came to the United States, high expectations a couple times at the World Championship, and fulfilled them, decided that she needed to make the move to the national tour in the U.S. and has done a successful job.
Kareem is putting it to all the guys right now here in the finals of Jet Jam 97, including this man, Chris McCluggage. He's a veteran at 23. Let's step back right now and meet the champion, Chris McCluggage.
You are looking at the man who is arguably the greatest racer ever to set foot on personal watercraft. That bold statement is based on the fact that no other racer has won as many national championships on all 3 styles of personal watercraft: stand-up, ski, sport, and runabout. Chris was destined for greatness from the beginning. By age 13, he was racing to win with a little creative numbers management regarding his age on the entry form. The minimum age to compete was 14.
Back when I started racing, the age was 14, but I was kind of impatient. Well, my dad was impatient, and he wanted me to start racing. And I was kind of unsure about it because I went to racing before and saw other people riding, and I didn't think I was as good as them. But he had a lot of confidence in me, and my confidence wasn't quite there for myself. So he kind of forced me to, at the age of 13, and it came out good. I did really good. I got a first place there, and I was really happy. So he was happy, and we continued on, and he bought another ski for me. Back then I was racing 440s and 550s, but that was, that's 10 years ago, 23 now.
If there's one thing Chris could never, ever be, it's a politician. Why? He actually speaks his honest opinion.
But, IJSP has some gray areas a lot of times, and I believe this is one of them.
What's up, bro? Gray-haired old man? I'm not going to mention anybody, but they come over here with their big circus over here and get a big head. And I believe, everybody should have an opinion, and a lot of people are not opinionated, and I like to express myself, whether sometimes it's something stupid I say, or sometimes, it's something that's meaningful. And I believe, everybody should have a say in something. He's really old. He's got to do stuff like this to keep up.
Some unacquainted with Chris might incorrectly label him as cocky or arrogant. The fact is, he has the spurs to back up any claim he makes. Starting racing at such a young age, it's only natural that his first nickname was the Kid. Now he goes by Chris, thank you. Just never, ever call him a loser.
McCluggage still in a strong number 2 position right behind Kareem Petrel. We have the exciting conclusion of the Pro Runabout race here at Jet Jam 97 coming up, so don't go away. Another popular event that took place earlier this weekend was the Sea-Doo Celebrity Challenge. The stars were out in full force to test their skills against one another on the same course that the pros use. And some of the celebrities took their training seriously.
I did the sit-ups, the crunches, everything. I ate the right food, and I just didn't feel it today, so I asked the champ to come in and help me out. So sitting at the back was pretty cool. It's not what I wanted. I wanted to be up front and win. Maybe I'll take him for a ride a little later on.
It did not take long after practice was over to find out who was filling up to the challenge and who was not.
Almost 16, you can't have peace. I'm just going to be humiliated twice. I'm going home to play with my duck in the bathtub. Thanks.
Once everyone had their fill of practice, the racing began. But when the water cleared, it was Kyle Karska of KCBS 2 News who took home the Sea-Doo watercraft, bragging rights, and a few stitches.
Yeah, it's nice. This happened on Thursday when I was practicing and took a little spill, hit my face on the jet ski, had 30 stitches put in the face, and my doctor told me as she was stitching me up, said, "Too bad you're not going to be able to race and win this competition." I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "You're not racing." I said, "Yes, I am, and I'm going to win the jet ski." And she said, "As your doctor, I'm advising you not to, but if you win, when you do win, I want to get a ride."
Congratulations to all the celebrities in this year's Sea-Doo Celebrity Challenge. Oh, the crowd really enjoyed watching the celebrities ride their Sea-Doos. But now let's go back to the pros. As Kareem's cover, her front cowling cover, has come off her boat. Chuck, what is the reason for that?
Well, a lot of these race teams are using their race boats from the tour, and those are lightweight carbon fiber hulls that are designed for speed on the water. And that ramp jump has got to be brutal on those lightweight hulls. It could cause a lot of fracture damage to the underside of those hulls. And Tony, if they break up too much, they start taking on water and they go to the bottom.
Right now we're looking at 4th place contender, Canadian Mike Klippenstein.
Klippenstein down the front straightaway, and oh, Tony, the boat is slowing down. He's been having motor problems all weekend long. I think the bug has bit him again.
And what an incredible turn of events for Dustin Farthing. He had to start from a dead engine start, and now after passing up Kanamori and with Klippenstein's boat going down, Dustin has moved into a solid 4th place.
Fischetti still continuing on in 3rd place. Now Farthing is going to be trying to track him down to move up 1 position, and Fischetti's trying to figure out a way to get in the fight with McCluggage and Patorell.
The interesting thing is that Fischetti's teammate is Kareem Petrel. She actually rides for his team, Fischetti Rocket Ship Racing. Now, what can Fischetti do at this point to try to catch McCluggage or his teammate?
Well, it's going to be real tough because Patorell and McCluggage are both using the ramp, which is the shortest way around the course. So Chris basically just has to be where he is, bide his time, and hope that one of the other two make a mistake.
McCluggage in hot pursuit of Kareem Petrel. McCluggage has already went around the West Coast equalizer buoy, and Petrel has not. I think Petrel is probably hoping that something is going to happen to McCluggage's boat, which will enable Petrel to go around the buoy and get a victory.
Petrel's happiest when she's on the race course, and she's particularly happy to be here at Jet Jam.
Yeah, it's really cool to have something like this, and I think everybody enjoyed it. It's a particular event, and it's a ramp and the oval track and the slalom. We didn't have this all year, so everything is new for everybody, and I think it's a very good event.
And Tony, some excitement builds here for the first time. Patorell goes to the outside, McCluggage to the inside. McCluggage off the ramp, flies a great distance, lands it out. Patorell down that inside buoy. McCluggage on the inside, shuts the door and takes the #1 spot.
McCluggage has been stalking Patorell the entire event, and there he is. He takes the lead, and the crowd is going wild.
The white flag comes out, 1 lap to go. Kareem decides now I have to take the West Coast equalizer buoy, but it's academic. Chris McCluggage is long gone.
And he's about to take the checkered flag. Chris McCluggage going over the jump ramp one last time, and he's got to be pleased with his performance. He had problems with his boat earlier in the weekend, but he's taking it here when it counts in the finals.
McCluggage takes the checkered flag, but he doesn't even realize it yet. He's continuing on around the race course. He thinks this race is still going on. Pat Terrell picks up the second place finish. Bichetti comes across right behind her in third. But the Mac is still going around the race course. Thinks this race is still happening. Making his way down around the outside part of the race course. Makes that big turn, takes a look over, and the red flag up. Now the Mac Attack realizes this race is over, and he's got the win.
Chris McCluggage is the closed course champion here at Jet Jam 97. He salutes his pit crew, he salutes the crowd, and we'll be back in a moment with our winner. 661 ride for the dealer nearest you, and by Kellogg's, the best to you from your friends at Kellogg's. Welcome back, everybody, to Jet Jam 97, presented by Splash Magazine. Tony Finn along here with Chuck Kuntz. You know, Chuck, an unbelievably exciting race here in the runabout division with Chris McCluggage going large and just clamping it over the ramp and taking the lead, eventually winning from Karine Petrel. Karine Petrel, happy too, and giving Chris that old congratulations. Let's go down to Chuck in the pits.
Thanks, Tony. Down here in the pits with the winner, Chris McCluggage. And Chris, a super job out there on that course, man. You rode hard. Karine Petrel stayed in front of you, gave you everything you could ever want to try to pull off the big win.
Yeah, Chuck, she didn't go to the extra buoy early in the race. I went to it, I think, on the fourth lap, and it seemed to pay off, but I passed her actually before she went and took it. I just kept it clamped over the jump that one time, and it paid off.
Tough course out here. This course is nice and small and tight. It makes it real tough for passing. You've really got to concentrate hard to set a rider up.
Yeah, but the IJSBA, put their heads together this year and came up with some good solutions to that. They got this extra buoy. They put the ramp jump in, and it adds some excitement for the crowd. And better yet, I was on a Yamaha GP760, and the results show what boat's the best.
Well, Chris McCluggage has shown what he can do out here on the water. We've had a great time at Jet Jam. Tony, back up to you.
The winner in the overall division was Dustin Farthing, taking the slalom competition hands down, but in the closed course competition, Dustin Farthing came from last place with the dead edge and start to finish in fourth place, and that was enough to bring him the overall victory here at Jet Jam. Right now, Chuck's in the pit area with our winner.
Down here with a micro missile, Dustin Farthing. Dustin, a first and 2 fourths gets you the overall championship at Jet Jam.
Yeah, I guess consistency is the key. That's what everybody says, and that's what makes the national tour too. So that's what I needed all year. And I had the whole shot in that first race right there, and they called me for jumping. I don't know what the deal was with that. I think they were a little off, but that's what happened. And I came back from the back to still get the overall.
Tough course out there, and it's tough to pass, yet you're able to pick off all the positions you need and go from the back of the pack to fourth place.
Yeah, that jump, helped out some. There was a lot of people messing up, and I was just trying to keep it on through the split. And West Coast Sea-Doo, my dad, everybody's got my boats running. Tim Norton, everybody's put in some long hours, my mechanics, and everything's been good.
Well, he's got the overall championship to take home from Jet Jam 97. Can he come back and repeat it again in 98? Down from the pits, back to you, Tony.
Well, there's a lot of racers that hope Dustin Farthing does not repeat in 98, but the fan support here has been incredible. Now we leave you with a look at the Yamaha Super Jump Ramp competition. For Chuck Kuntz, I'm Tony Finn. We'll see you next year at Jet Jam 98.